Good morning, everyone. We're going to try that again. Good morning, everyone. It is so wonderful to be here with you all to celebrate Women's History Month. And I must say, not only am I encouraged to see so many proud, strong, beautiful women, I am so happy to see all the men supporting the women here. This is the 29th annual City of Tampa's Women's History Month celebration. I'm Emerald Morrow. I am an investigative reporter and fill-in anchor at 10 Tampa Bay News. And I am just, again, so honored to be here with you all. So many distinguished women celebrating so many accomplishments, celebrating Women's History Month, which was established by Congress in 1987. And I just want to say, women have come so far, have we not? Yes. We have come so, yes, let's, round of applause for that, for sure. So Women's History Month established in 1987, but just think, a decade before that, in the 1970s, women couldn't get credit cards on their own, couldn't sign for their own loan for their home, and in some cases couldn't get the quality education that they deserved. But today we're running banks, we're at the top of our field, and in some cases, the top of our cities, right? Each year, the City of Tampa's Women's History Committee recognizes outstanding female employees with the Josephine Howard Stafford Memorial Award. And the recipient of this award is chosen based on her merit, so she deserves it, and the National Women's History Month project theme. And the 2026 theme is Leading the Change, Women Shaping a Sustainable Future. And our honoree, Heather Wolf Erickson, has, yes. She has really demonstrated her commitment to this theme throughout her career by serving as a coach and as a mentor for countless young women. And we know how important that is for women to have role models in their lives. So we look forward to hearing from her a little bit later in the program. But now I ask that you please stand for the presentation of colors by members of the Tampa Police Department's Honor Guard, followed by our national anthem sung by the Tampa Fire Rescue Hometown Heroes. And we will wrap that all up with the Pledge of Allegiance and an inspirational message from Sydney Williams from the Mayor's Youth Corps.
Others, who? I have, please. Present her.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Art. Award.
Today, we come together to recognize Women's History Month and to honor the women who have led change in their communities, their nations, and their fields. We acknowledge the creativity required to imagine something better, the courage it has taken to challenge injustice, and the persistence needed to turn ideas into lasting progress. As we reflect on this year's theme, Leading the Change, Women Shaping a Sustainable Future, we are reminded that sustainability is about more than the environment. It is about building communities where opportunity is shared, voices are valued, and leadership is guided by the responsibility to both the present and the future. Women have long led this work, often without recognition, shaping systems that care for people and protect the world that we share. May today's gathering inspire us to learn from these leaders, to think critically about the challenges ahead, to act with purpose and integrity. May we be encouraged to support one another, to lead with empathy, and to believe in our ability to create meaningful and lasting change. Let us move forward with gratitude for the past, awareness of the present, and hope for the future that we are shaping together. Thank you.
Amen. Good job.
You may be seated. I must say, I'm always so encouraged and inspired when I see young people who are brave enough to stand before a group of people that they don't know and give such a wonderful and eloquent presentation. Let's give her another round of applause. We, of course, want to also thank the Tampa Police Department and Tampa Fire Rescue for their courageous and committed service to our community. They're our heroes. We absolutely thank them. And we got to give it up for those singers, don't we? And a little bit more on Ms. Williams. She's a junior at Tampa Catholic High School. She's actively involved in student ambassadors and serves as a committee leader for BEST, the School's Service Club. She's also junior class president for the class of 2027, okay. And she was a member of the varsity volleyball team. And in addition to her leadership roles at school, she's an active volunteer in her community at the Trinity Cafe. Best of luck to you for everything that you do. I know that you have a very bright future. Again, this year's Women's History Month theme, Leading the Change, Women Shaping a Sustainable Future, can be seen throughout the city of Tampa in the tireless efforts of its dedicated employees. So we want to recognize them at this time. So at this moment, would all female employees who have worked at the city of Tampa for at least 20 years, would you please stand to be recognized? That is so impressive. Thank you for all of the work and service that you give to our community. We also want to acknowledge our elected officials. So if you are an elected official in the city of Tampa and Hillsborough County, I recognize some faces out here, but would you please stand to be recognized? Or any other elected officials as well. We see you, Naya. Any former elected officials in the audience, would you please stand to be recognized? All right, there were 21 remarkable women nominated for the Josephine Howard Stafford Memorial Award this year. That is incredible. That just speaks to the service and commitment of so many women to our community. But if you were nominated, would you please stand at this time? Congratulations to you on the nomination. That speaks so much to how your coworkers see you, how your community sees you, and everything that you do for our community. This award has been given out for 29 years. So we would also like to recognize all former Josephine Howard Stafford Memorial Award recipients who are here with us today, as well as members of Josephine Howard Stafford's family. So if you're a previous recipient or part of the Stafford family, could you please stand at this time? There we go. Again, thank you all so much for everything that you do for our community. And each year, the City of Tampa's Women's History Committee is recognized for their work by the Tampa City Council. And here's a little bit of trivia. You know, we got to give a little bit of factoids here. But did you know that from 1999 to 2007, there was a majority of women on Tampa City Council? Did you all know that? Yeah, that's right. That's right. We can give a little applause for that. During that time, there were 4 council women and 3 council men. With that said, now to bring us greetings on behalf of Tampa City Council, we want to bring Councilwoman Naya Young, representing District 5. Now, she was raised in Tampa and received a Master of Arts and Science degree in Political Science from Howard University. She's a graduate of the Toba Leadership Institute, and she's the previous executive director of the Tampa Heights Junior Civic Association. And as the newest member of Tampa City Council, Councilwoman Young serves on the Public Safety Coordinating Council, chairs the Neighborhood and Community Affairs Committee, and serves on the board for the Tampa Bay Estuary Program. I don't know how you have any free time. Please welcome Councilwoman Young.
To answer your question, there is no free time. It gives me great honor and pleasure when someone asks me, you know, how would you like to be addressed, council member, councilman? And I get to proudly say, no, you can say councilwoman. Emphasis on the councilwoman. What a joy it is, and to be a woman during Women's History Month and to be sitting on the dais with my fellow council members, it is such an honor for me, and it gives me great honor to be able to present this commendation today. On behalf of Tampa City Council, we proudly recognize the City of Tampa's 29th Annual Women's History Month celebration on March 3rd, 2026 at the Tampa Bay History Center, and acknowledges the outstanding efforts of the 2026 Women's History Month Committee. Declared nationwide, Women's History Month is a tribute to the generations of women whose commitment and contributions have proven invaluable in our nation's history and contemporary society. Tampa City Council salutes the Women's History Month Committee for their continuing work to highlight our own community leaders. Each year, the committee works tirelessly to recognize an outstanding City of Tampa female employee who has demonstrated an outstanding commitment to her position with the City of Tampa. Thank you for your exceptional work for our community and city as we honor the extraordinary and remarkable women of Tampa for their contributions and accomplishments. And I just want to say, as we're walking in and we're seeing the tributes to the women in the back, and for me, looking and seeing those that have come before me is very important, and seeing the work and the groundwork that was laid so that we are able to be where we are today in society. Still a lot of work to do, but we have progressed so much, and what a joy it is to be a woman. I mean, really. So, applause for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and special thanks to all of our committee members who have worked so hard on this event. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Young. It is now my honor to introduce a woman who really doesn't need an introduction and who just whispered to me to not read her introduction, but I mean, how can we not? We kind of have to. We kind of have to. She's, of course, a previous recipient of the Josephine Howard Stafford Memorial Award. Yes, that is an awesome accomplishment. Another awesome accomplishment, the 59th mayor of the city of Tampa. We know that she's a Tampa native, yes. Who graduated from Chamberlain High School and the University of Tampa. And upon graduating, of course, she joined the Tampa Police Department and worked her way up to being appointed Tampa's first female chief of police. Let's give that a round of applause. And then, of course, after that, in 2019, elected mayor of the city of Tampa and being reelected in 2023. So I just want to say, I know you said not to read everything, but I think it's so important for people in the audience, for the young women in the room, just to hear the accomplishments and how far women have come and all the things that they can accomplish. So I'm going to continue with your bio, if that's okay. During her time in office, Mayor Castor, she has been praised for prioritizing lifting up every neighborhood by enhancing workforce development, improving infrastructure and mobility, and increasing affordable housing options. She's also championed the passage of the apprenticeship ordinance to help grow our middle class, which she also increased the city of Tampa minimum wage to $15 an hour and also promoted women into leadership positions. And here's something really important. Women now occupy more than half of the leadership spots in the city of Tampa. So for all of those reasons, she gets a whole lot of praise for being committed to lifting up women, families, children, everyone, in every neighborhood, every day. So with that said, now we will welcome Mayor Jane Castor.
Thank you so much, Emerald. Thank you for taking time out of your day. You're always here for us and for the community, and we thank you for that. And thank you to our honor guard and to the wonderful singers. I always tell Sonia Weiss from the police department she's performed the national anthem for presidents of the United States, and I say she's good because I'm her backup. My dad used to say I couldn't carry a tune in a bucket, so she has a lot of pressure on her. So want to thank everyone. Thank you so much, Sydney, too. What an incredible young woman. You will be the mayor or higher someday in your future. So thank you for all that you have accomplished in your young life. And also, I want to recognize the Mayor's Youth Corps. This is a program that was started by Pam Iorio more than 20 years ago, and I would say hands down the best program that the city has ever had. The things that these young people go on to be in our community and really around the world. They had a 20-year anniversary. Young people came from around the world to talk about the things that they had accomplished, and so many credited the Mayor's Youth Corps. So great program. Women's History Committee. Let's have everybody stand up that does the hard work. Yes. Excellent. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Wonderful, without a doubt. And the city council members, thank you for being here, Charlie, and thank you so much, Naya, for your wonderful words as well. A couple of things I want to talk about. The Josephine Howard Stafford Award. I did not know Josephine Stafford, but others did. And when I won the award, I called my good friend Gina Grimes to ask her because she worked with her in the city attorney's office. And Josephine apparently was what my dad would call a character. You know, she was an incredible lawyer, an attorney, wonderful leader, and also the life of the party. She was one of those people that was involved in everything in our community. So I think to be bestowed the Josephine Howard Stafford Award is something incredible. So congratulations to you, Heather. You too are a character, as my dad would say, but we'll get into that later. So You know, another thing, I talk about this quite often at women's events. Someone said that they were in a country, a leader was in a country one time, and over half of their political leaders were women. And so this individual said, wow, how did you do that? Like, how did you get half of your political positions filled by women? And he looked at them and said, we're not in a position where we can ignore half of our population. Wow, what an incredible thought, right? A little bit of common sense there. And so, as you heard, we have so many women in position of leadership. And that, when I first became mayor, I just looked, same thing as the chief of police, look for individuals that would best fit that position. And when you open up that field of view, it's amazing the individuals that will rise to the top. And just a bit of a bias, but I would say our city staff, our entire city team is the best in the history of this city. And we are rocking getting things done. We've got our fire chief, Barbara Tripp, Jean Duncan, Administrator of Infrastructure and Mobility, Abby Feely, the Administrator of Development and Economic Opportunity, Osea Wynn, Neighborhood and Community Affairs. We have last year's recipient, Shirley Fox Knowles, up here on the dais. Human Resources, Kelly Austin. Logistics Asset Manager, Adri Colina, another winner of this. Purchasing, Deanna Faggart. Internal Audit, Christine Glover. Governmental Affairs, Marley Wilkes. Assistant Chief of Police, Ruth Kate. Susan Winrick, the Head of Code Enforcement. And lastly, Ida Walker, who has been the true Chief of Police through 8 police chiefs who she has served under. So, as you see, this year's theme of Leading the Change, Women Shaping Sustainable Future, and just so happens we have a woman in charge of sustainability and resiliency, Kayla Caselli. This is such an apropos theme for this year's Women's History event. So I want to thank everyone on the city team, everyone in the community. We could not be the successful city that we are without the collaboration of not only the city team, but all of our business owners, all of our community leaders, every single resident, and all the visitors in our community. It really is a collaboration, and that's why we are the successful city that we are. And Heather, I know that I have a proclamation for you, and I'm not going to read it all because I know that Shirley's going to, I don't want to take all Shirley's remarks away, but Heather Erickson is an individual that sort of followed the path that I followed. She's not nearly as old as I am, looks a lot better than I do, but I'm a product of Title IX. Title IX came through when I was what used to be called junior high school, and what that said, which a lot of young people in this room will be like, duh, it's always been that way. Title IX said that young women could participate in athletics to the same level that young men could. Before that, it wasn't possible. And so I was on I always joke, by virtue of being 6 foot tall in the second grade and sort of a good athlete, I was on every team that there was. And that allowed me to get a full athletic scholarship to the University of Tampa, which was a key that opened every single door for me. And so I made a promise at that time that I would, whenever I had the opportunity, I would open the door for other young people in our community because they have the talent, the skill, the knowledge, the motivation. All they need is an opportunity. And that's what Heather has done her entire life. I don't think that there is a grander title than coach. And when people call you coach, that's your first name, that means that you have positively impacted young people's lives and maybe been that difference that sent them down a path to their God-given potential. So when young people come back and they say, Coach Heather, I'm getting married, Coach Heather, I got a job, Coach Heather, I'm going to college, it's because you had a positive impact in their life and you have touched countless lives in our community, and we are all thankful for that. So congratulations to you, And I do have to read the part of the proclamation that says, whereas Heather's legacy is officially recognized on Tuesday, March 2nd, 2026, during the 29th Annual Josephine Howard Stafford Memorial Awards Ceremony held at the Tampa Bay History Center. Now there, I, Jane Castor, by the virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the greatest city in the world, do hereby proclaim the month of March 2026 as Women's History Month in the city of Tampa, and urge all citizens to pay tribute to Heather on this honor and to observe this month by giving special recognition in their own way to all women who have positively affected their lives. Congratulations. Thank you. And lastly, I want to say thank you to the families that have come, Sarah Lang's family, Francis Henriquez, and also my good friend Gwen Henderson too. The tribute to them is very kind, very gracious, and I thank the committee for that as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Castor, and congratulations, Heather. The Women's History Month Committee would now like to remember some of the trailblazing women who we lost during this past year. Former Josephine Howard Memorial Award recipient Frances Enriquez passed away in March of 2025. And she was the first woman elected to serve as city clerk and a true trailblazer. At this time, I'd like you to please turn your attention to the screen to learn more about Frances.
Frances Enriquez served as city clerk from November 27, 1973 to September 30, 1993. She began her career in the city clerk's office in 1954 in a clerical position. She was later appointed deputy city clerk in 1962 by Mayor Julian Lane and continued to serve in that position for 11 years.
Dick Greco, he brought me to the office because my boss, Bill Starr, was retiring. And at that time, the position was an appointed one. So I went in there, sat down, and he said, Frances, I want you to run for city clerk. And I looked at him and I was thinking to myself, this man's kind of crazy. I'm the city clerk, a girl. I've never made a speech in my life. And he said, no, he says, you'll have the support, you'll have my support. He says, and it's about time that a woman got to be city clerk. We need women in office.
In 1973, Frances Enriquez was elected to the office of city clerk in a special election. She won the election, garnering 78% of the vote, and became the first woman and first Hispanic to hold the position. She was the last city clerk to be elected by popular vote and served for 5 terms. During her 39 years of service to the city of Tampa, she initiated a records management program, later adding the archive section, with the city of Tampa becoming the first city in Florida to create a municipal archives. The building that housed archives and records was named after Frances Enriquez when she retired in 1993.
It was just amazing. I didn't know the building was being named after me. And when I got there, the mayor was there, the council members were there, there were people taking pictures, and my family was there, my 2 grandchildren, there were tiny little kids were there. And then when I saw that plaque, and I couldn't believe it. It was just so amazing. Oh, to think, here a little girl from Ybor City ran for office and had a building.
Frances Enriquez received many accolades during her tenure with the city of Tampa, including the Florida Association of City Clerks President's Award for exemplary service in promoting educational programs, the Society of Florida Archivists Award of Excellence in 1991 for outstanding contribution to Florida's documentary heritage and received the Hispanic Woman of the Year Award in 1987. Due to her efforts, the City of Tampa was awarded the prestigious William Olston Award for Excellence in Records Management Programs in 1989. At the 2006 Florida Association of City Clerks Conference, Frances was recognized with a proclamation presented in her honor.
There's a lot of happiness in my heart for the time that I've served with the city and the people that I've met and the friendships that I've made.
Very nice. Yeah, well done.
That's a truly incredible legacy, is it not? That's amazing. She was definitely an inspiration. In June of 2025, the entire city of Tampa mourned the loss of Councilwoman Gwen Henderson. We would now like to share a video that honors her memory. 1 second in the program. As we go back to Ms. Enriquez, we do want to make sure that we honor her family that is here with us today. So on standby. If her family that is here with us today could please stand. Thank you so much for sharing her with us. The love that she gave to the city, I'm sure, is the very same love that she gave to you, the care, the commitment. Thank you so much for sharing such a wonderful human being. We are deeply sorry for the loss, but we are so thankful for the contributions that she gave to this community. Thank you. And now at this time, we will return our attention to the screen to honor the memory of Gwendolyn Henderson, who was loved by so many in this community.
I have been making a difference for such a long time as an educator here in Hillsborough County Public Schools. I'm very proud of that. Everything that I focus on, I will always think about the future generations of Tampa. That's what we need to be concerned about. The cultural presence and significance of Tampa is what's very special about it. We have a diverse body of people that live together, and it's a beautiful space. Tampa is a great place to live and work. This complex, 34,000 square feet, is enormous opportunity for a variety of the connected communities to engage in this beautiful space. I'm so excited for all of the communities surrounding Fair Oaks to see it. District 5 representing. West Tampa is on the come up, and it is wonderful because of not only the diverse community, but the opportunity for the connectivity and everything else that's already happening and will be happening in West Tampa. I want to see Tampa be successful for everyone. I want more equity among our communities. That is something that's deserving of every space in Tampa. I, as a single parent, bought a home as a teacher, and I think that that is an attainable thing that we should give to every single citizen who desires a place to live in our community. There's a space for everyone.
Gwen will never be forgotten. She was someone I certainly interacted with as a reporter and spent many times asking questions of her, city council, and she always took the time to give me answers. I'm grateful for that. Would members of Henderson family please stand that are here with us today? And to the Henderson family, thank you as well for sharing her with us and with this city. The city has asked a lot of her, and she gave a lot to the city. So thank you, and I hope that you take comfort in her strong legacy and memory. That legacy, of course, will live on. And last month, the Women's History Committee learned about the passing of former Josephine Howard Memorial Award recipient Sarah Ford Lang. She devoted 40 years to the city of Tampa. She served as Director of Administration and Director of Human Resources. Would members of Sarah's family please stand? "40 years is a long time to give to one place, and it's not something that we see often these days anymore. So again, we know that's a sacrifice. We thank you for sharing her with us and that sacrifice that she made and what she gave to the city of Tampa. Thank you. Amen. For those who knew Sarah, there will be a memorial service on Saturday, March 14th, and there are more details available online. All right. It is now time for the most anticipated part of our program, the presentation of the Josephine Howard Stafford Memorial Award. Now, this award was established to honor a current or former City of Tampa employee, a female employee, who demonstrates that outstanding commitment to her position and to her community. This award is given, of course, in honor of Ms. Stafford, who devoted 24 years to the city of Tampa as an assistant city attorney. I would now like to welcome last year's Josephine Howard Stafford Memorial Award recipient, Ms. Shirley Fox Knowles, who will be introducing this year's honoree.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. Good morning. Happy Women's History Month. It is indeed my pleasure to introduce Heather Wolf Erickson. For nearly 40 years, Heather's career in Parks and Recreation has focused on using parks, sports, and recreation to create opportunity, connection, and belonging. She is a Parks and Recreation Service Area Manager and the first woman to oversee athletics, aquatics, special facilities, and citywide youth sports. She has served as a leader and mentor to countless girls and is always working to ensure accessible, high-quality recreational opportunities for Tampa's communities. With a background as a collegiate athlete, Heather graduated from the University of South Florida with a bachelor's degree in social work. She is a current member of the National and State Parks and Recreation Associations, a certified Parks and Recreation professional, certified youth sports administrator with the National Alliance of Youth Sports, and a certified aquatics facility operator. She's a founding board member of the Children's Athletic Network and Dance Opportunity, also known as Can Do. Her work has focused on creating meaningful pathways for young people especially girls, to thrive through athletics. Most recently, Heather's work on the Nike Advisory Panel on Gender Equality in Sports resulted in the development of a gender equity report and roadmap that will help more than 10,000 parks and recreation agencies build a culture that creates girls and women in sports. Heather and her husband, Brian, are the proud parents of 3 daughters, Evan, Quinn, and Ellis, who grew up in the Tampa Parks and Recreation Department programs. Would you raise your hand and be recognized? All right. Thank you. And I understand her lovely mother is here also. Raise your hand and be recognized. Mayor Castor, would you please join me to present the award? Right here.
There you go.
Congratulations. Did you want to say anything at all? Of course. Come on up. No, just something. Give us a little something. There you go. Wave.
Dang it. I promised Patty, she kept saying, did you write something? Did you write something? Because if I get on my soapbox, I can like squirrel right down into and some issues that I probably don't want to go that deep on. But thank you, Ms. Shirley, for that kind introduction. You have the example that you have set, and we kind of play on our name, Shirley Fox Knowles, Heather Wolf Erickson. So I have some big paw prints to follow in this. That's my corny joke for the day. Wow, and thank you, everybody. I am going to stay on script because I will get a little emotional, especially if could you guys go to the back of the room? My kids. I'm standing here today as a recipient of the 2026 Josephine Howard Stafford Memorial Award. That's a lot of words. That's a lot. It's one of the greatest honors to date of my professional life. To be recognized as the 29th recipient, it really doesn't feel real. And when I look at all the past honorees, I have to admit, between when they told me about this and today, I felt like a little bit of an imposter. I thought, are you sure you got the right candidate up here? So there hasn't been a day since I've been notified of this that it hasn't felt very humbled and appreciative of this honor. The past recipients and nominees who are here today, I'm honored to stand with you. Over 39 years, I have been with the city, and I've admired your leadership from afar in many cases, and advocacy, and I know firsthand how your efforts have shaped Tampa in lasting and meaningful ways. Josephine, I'm really nice. It's nice to hear that she was a character because I'd like to hear some stories afterwards if you don't mind. She broke barriers and championed women's issues, and I am grateful for her legacy and the path that she created, and thank you to Brad for making sure today is possible. When thinking of this day, Mayor Castor said at a staff meeting recently that we don't go into these roles for accolades. Do you remember that? And that's absolutely true. We do this work because we care deeply about the community, but moments like this do matter, not because of recognition, because they shine light on the collective effort behind the work. They remind us that the city of Tampa values women in leadership and believes in continuing and expanding opportunity. I have to thank Shayna and Patty, crazy girls, because they didn't tell me they were nominating me. And thank you for nominating me and being trusted colleagues and true partners in this journey. You share the vision, lively conversations, and forever being there to see what we can do better every day. I mean, you can work decades in the city and there's always something that we can do better. The Tampa History Month Committee and chairpersons Jennifer and Allison, thank you for this beautiful reception. And I have to smile to tell you that when they came into my office, I had just taken about 10 days off over the holidays. And they came, work in the same building, but they're on the first floor, I'm on the second floor. So they came into my office right after I had gotten back from 10 days off, and I'm going through my emails, and they'd come into my office, and I thought, oh crap, what did I do? Did I miss a public records request when I was, and they're coming to get me. But I'm sorry I associated you with that. But they did take me. I was like, ay. But instead, you entrusted me with an award that carries such a deep meaning and legacy. And you guys did catch me off guard. You have to recognize that. Doris's witness. I also want to recognize, our council members, mayors, elected officials, past and present. You've supported the growth of the city with an equity lens. None of the work we celebrate today is without leadership, partnership, and the willingness to find a way to fund and support things that truly matter. I've had an extraordinary privilege of serving under all 3 Tampa female mayors. Pause. That's pretty, I've served under female mayors more than I have male mayors, so, in my career. So right when I became an employee, I was like, oh yeah, this city's led by women. That was really great. It was a good place to land. I would like to have the Army of Parks and Rec folks stand up. Pretty impressive. Now, the award that I have has one name on it, but it belongs to this team. I'm trying to fake this that I can read this because I really can't. It has one, I'm sorry, it's just that when you tip over, okay, it was 50, 60, whatever. When it has one name on it, but it belongs to the team. These employees serve 7 days a week, nights, weekends, holidays. They're the staff that opens your facilities before sunrise and closes them long after the last game ends. They're coaches, maintenance crews, recreation leaders, administrators, and true professionals who believe recreation is not an extra in our community, but an essential to healthy and connected communities. I'm gonna long pause there because we are not extra. For 39 years, I've had the privilege of serving in the Tampa Parks and Recreation Department. 39 years of watching parks transform neighborhoods, 39 years of seeing young people discover confidence through sport, 39 years of understanding that recreation is essential infrastructure and to our community's well-being. None of this is done alone. Team Tampa is the best. I was fortunate to cut my teeth in the first few decades of my career with what is known as TGD. Raise your hand under TGD. It's a national recognized program. It escorts the mayor on almost every occasion. But it started with the Heather and Brenda show. 2 people, 50 kids. You can start small and do big things. The students in this program, they grew from 50 to 3,000, 4,000, we stopped counting at a certain point. But they have taught me much more than I've ever taught them. The growth of something like that sounds strategic when we say it, but the truth is we did not have a business plan. It grew because parents valued our efforts with their children. They volunteered, they stepped forward. Staff was added over the years and poured their hearts into it. Administrators and elected officials believed it was worth investing in. That belief and momentum eventually formalized into the collaboration with Can Do and also Friends of Tampa Recreation Department. Those are two organizations that really support our department. So if you ever have the heart to give to those two. And they were grounded in a simple truth. Talent is universal, opportunity is not. We have to do this as a team. I want to thank Can Do and the Friends Board members that might be here today. Do we have any? I think we have a couple back there, yeah. There we go. Thank you for giving your time, your expertise, and your advocacy. Thank you for believing that access to sports and recreation should never depend on barriers. Your leadership helped build sustainable pathways, an opportunity that continues long after one season ends. You're game changers. I'd like to take this minute, much like Brad, the past leadership of our department, who they're not here today, Don Rothell, Pete Bergay, and Wayne Pappy. Many of you know all of those names if you've been around for a minute. They took the time to listen to a young, okay, I might have been a little overzealous, enthusiastic, kind of pushy young girl that was a transplant from the Midwest making $5.68 an hour. I was rich. I am forever grateful for their support, mentorship, and opportunities. Most importantly, I'd like to introduce my family. This is where you get emotional. Well, not, okay, Brian. That's my husband, Brian. I'd like to thank them because they have supported my crazy hours, and sometimes, you're gonna nod your head, were my only volunteers at the end of an event. They're like, those are times where like, I promise one day I'm gonna get this award and you're gonna understand why I abused you. Don Rothell actually commonly referred to Brian as poor Brian. Like poor was his first name. I mean, for a decade he called him poor Brian. And he's like, yeah. And then also my oldest daughter, Evan. Could you stand up, please? Middle daughter, the crazy one, Miss Quinn. And her fiance, Cameron. Cameron, you have a choice. She's a lot. And then I, of course, have my youngest, Ellis, who is in Chicago right now and couldn't be here, but I will put a shameless plug. If anybody needs anybody in sales, I'd like her to move back. My mother is here from Illinois. Stand up. And without saying too much, it's safe to say the nut does not fall far from the tree. She looks like a sweet old lady, but she got a lot going on there. My father would be sitting front and center, safe to say, being raised by a Marine, a Union president, IBEW 109, and the youngest of 4 with 3 older brothers. We have a lot in common. Has something to do with me being here. It was probably survival at some point during those years in the Midwest. Our daughters grew up in Tampa Parks and Rec programs. They spent countless hours and evenings in the gyms, ball fields, community centers. They also spent countless hours sitting in the car while I finished conversations. I was like, do your homework and here's your McDonald's. I mean, that's kind of how some of those nights went. And also maybe just solving one more problem before the night was over or recruiting one more volunteer. Right, Linda? She's stuck. We kept her for a long time. Becoming their mom didn't just change my life, it clarified my purpose. Don't look. When I was 7 years old, you talked about Title IX. I was 7, and it was enacted. And I did not, at 7 years old, understand what legislation was for Title IX, or even why we would need such a thing. I just simply knew I wanted to play. And I didn't realize that there were women behind the scenes fighting battles that I couldn't see, so girls like me could step onto a field and feel like we belonged. Those women and men leveled a playing field that I didn't even know was tilted. There was no internet back then, dating myself, just 3 channels, 4, 6, and 8. And that's if you didn't pull the thing out of the TV so you could watch the channel you wanted.
There you go.
And the newspapers. You know, with brothers, they were, yeah. That legislation was all my dad needed to sign me up for the boys' baseball team. Because, of course, there was no girls' team.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, I had 3 brothers, and I played more ball by that age than all of them. I was going to show them up, I'm not going to lie. So guess what? We got a girls' softball team out of that. Years later, it was my turn to work behind the scenes. I encountered this young gymnast, and she's actually on the board out there. And many of the staff will know who I'm talking about. I encountered this young gymnast in our program with an extraordinary talent. She joined our program at 3 years old. Her mother lied, by the way. She was 2. On that dang waiver. She won the state championship for gymnastics in the 6 to 8-year-old division as a 5-year-old. The fun story is her mom came to me and said, "Is today a good time to tell you I lied on that waiver?" I'm like, "She's 5? Because you're not allowed to legally compete until you're 6. So I just, go ahead. What are you gonna do? Well, guess what? At 5 years old, she won the 6 to 8-year-old division. And at 6, she won it again. And then at 7, she won it again. So when this little girl was 7 years old, much like me, when Title IX started, she was winning almost every competition we put her in. This is not just my coaching. It is the collaboration of coaches past, present, and future. So I arranged a tryout at a private club because I didn't think I was a good enough coach. I thought, oh no, she's really good. I'm not that good of a coach. So I arranged a tryout, and once I explained that she might have financial challenges, she was not given that opportunity. So this is where I saw how quickly an opportunity can be limited by circumstance. And that moment changed me. This is where on my paper it says, "Oh, and I was hopping mad." Well, I was pissed. I was trying to write it out nice, but I was really, really not happy. And this is before I even had my own children. I was kind of afraid, like, am I gonna love my kids like I love this kid? It was serious. So I marched into the athletic manager's office, Don Rathel, and was like, "You gotta help me. We gotta figure this out. I need another coach. I need this, I need that." And he went to Wayne and Joe Abrams and probably, whoever was in tow that time. And we committed as a team, as a department, as a community, to stay 6 months ahead of whatever she needed. The staff grew, the parents and teammates stepped in. Administration found a way. Her mother supported us tirelessly, and it was a collective effort. Now, I won't say confirm one way or another, but I might have said, "Okay, you see that leotard right there in the meets? I want you to beat that leotard." Every meet you're in, I don't care what you do, just if you see that leotard, look at their scores and beat it. I don't know if I said that or not. I might have. I was a little bit competitive, I'm not gonna lie, and I felt like somebody was taking something from this child. That young gymnast was Malika Moore Thomas, and she's like my firstborn. Sorry, Evan. She became a full ride Big Ten athlete, team captain of the Ohio State University. Cameron is like, he's an Ohio State guy. And she is now an executive at ConocoPhillips. So that, she trained right there at Wayne Pappy. We didn't have a pit. We didn't have a lot of the things that we have added over the years, which she didn't get the privilege of having some of those amenities because she came at an age, but she was that trailblazer. Her success was never about one coach. It's what happens when a community refuses to let barriers determine a future. That experience reinforced something I believe deeply. As Parks and Rec professionals, city leaders, we're not managing facilities. We're not just managing facilities, we're stewards of opportunity. An equitable lens means asking hard questions: who can afford to participate? Who has transportation? Whose neighborhood needs investment? Are girls given equal visibility? Are we building spaces that truly welcome every child? They're not abstract ideas or daily responsibilities. Well, I was fortunate to sit on a couple national initiatives with NRPA and Nike, and also as the recipient of the NCAA Legacy Court that we put in over at Julian B. Lane at the Riverfront Recreation Center. If you haven't seen it, come see it. It's beautiful. And that gave way to a all-girls basketball program. I'm standing here in 2026 saying that, but we always let the girls play with the boys. But in this case, we have carved out time is just about girls, and it's about time. So you got to play with the boys.
Amen.
While national work is meaningful, the true impact happens locally. It's in parks, on fields, at pools, right here in Tampa. I know that I could ask 4 questions and I would have everybody's hands stand up in the air about how you interact with parks and recreation. I know I could do it. Just 4 questions. I'm not going to do it, but so today I accept this award not as a finish line, but as a shared affirmation of the work that we're doing together. Somewhere in our city, there's a 7-year-old girl who just wants to play. She deserves a field that's ready, a gym that's reserved for her, a coach who believes in her, and a community that we have, by the way, that refuses to let circumstance define her future. Yikes. The mayor spoke about the importance and the title of a coach, and she's right. It's one of the greatest. I knew you were going to say that. I wrote it. No, but we are on the same path. And she's right. One of the greatest titles you can hold, besides mom, is a coach teaches skills, but more importantly, a coach builds confidence, resilience, and character. Coaching is not a solo act either. If sports have taught me anything, it's that success is always about the team. Best coaches are great teammates. The strongest leaders know when to lead and when to listen. Progress happens when we pass the ball, cover for one another, and celebrate each other's strengths. So as we move forward, let's continue to be coaches when we're called to lead, teammates every single day, and let's stay 6 months ahead of the next generation. We're nowhere near the finish line. Thank you.
That is so awesome. Congratulations on that very well-deserved award. It really speaks to just the difference that one person can make. All of the lives that you have impacted, the people that you have touched, the children that you have helped, it really makes a difference. Thank you for that. This has been a wonderful morning, has it not? Yes. Yes, it has. Yeah, a round of applause for that. Again, I am just so encouraged to see all of you all here, the men and women, supporting Women's History Month. We want to, of course, also thank all of our program participants and all of the sponsors of this wonderful and important event. Many thanks to Parks and Recreation for the beautiful floral arrangements. The Mayor's Youth Corps, Tampa Police Department, Honor Guard, and the Tampa Fire Rescue hometown heroes with those beautiful voices. And of course, we would not be here at all if it were not for the hard work of the Women's History Committee. So we at this time would like for all of the members of the committee to please stand and be recognized. Thank you for taking the time to recognize this very important moment and celebrating women. The Women's History Committee is accepting clothing donations for Dress for Success, and the committee is also having a feminine hygiene product drive to benefit homeless girls and women. And more information is available on the display table at the back of the room. And with that said, again, I just want to say thank you for all of you all for taking time out of the middle of your day to be here to support this important cause. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. One round of applause for women. Thank you all.